So from my lecture file, sometimes you will see I have the peer talk question. So this peer talk question actually is when I'm using for the ground section class. So I have after one topic of lecture. So I will ask the student to talk to their neighbor for 1 minute to share their idea. So when you watch the video or watch the video referral to my handout, you may not have a chance to talk to a peer. But instead, actually, I want you to ask yourself those questions. For example, earlier we give you some example in the while loop. Can they all change to the do while loop? And also from what you already know for the for loop, while loop, do while loop, which one you prefer? So those questions not only you can ask yourself and answer yourself, and you can share in your discussion. Because sometimes students feel like, I don't know what should I put in the discussion for my summary or question. Actually, if you don't like to show all your notes or something, just share some insight from you see those peer talk questions. Okay, so that we can really convert this course instead of on ground, we do the Zoom meeting and the recorded lecture and your discussion. Okay, so this video, after you finish this one, you will work on your lab exercise too. But I have a couple things I didn't talk about. The first one, let's continue to finish earlier. We get the user input as a string, right? So then how we convert to the string, a string into the double or int value. So this one we will say, do a couple slides about the string. So string actually in Java is easy to concatenate and combine together. Okay, so this one actually used a lot, couple times in your previous lecture, right? So if you have string 1, string 2, you can just using the plus sign to concatenate into the second, another string. Or you can just define a string called myString. So then they can from one variable plus have a literal string value. They just concatenate one by one. So then they create another string. Or you can see here we have the string concatenate from method. So this one is from, if I already have S1 string, then I want to concatenate S2 to the end of S1. So they won't change S1. Also, we didn't talk about that one yet. So, but you just remember, string object cannot be updated. So whenever you add one string to another string, actually you generate the third string. So when we have string 1 concatenate string 2, right? Actually, they just copy string 1 with string 2 into the third string. So that's string concatenate and combine string. So that's one thing I want to talk about. Then the second thing is we can do the conversion between string and a number. A lot of time we get a user input a string. So then we convert them into an int value or a double value. Okay. So for example, here, if I want to convert this string into an integer, so that's earlier we show you in the show confirm dialog example. We can have the string input call integer dot parseInt static method. So then they will convert this string become an integer value. So for example, your string is 1, 2, 3, right? So they will convert become integer. But sometimes I have string is 1, 2, 3 dot 4, 5. So I need to convert become double, right? So you have the similar static method called double dot parse double. So here you can see the integer or double, they are all uppercases. So they are classes. So they have the static method. So double called double dot parse double. Convert the string become a double value. So that's the conversion between string and a number. So sometimes you will say, right, I can convert string to the integer, right? That's because this string already in the right format. They are really number. But sometimes, for example, I'm not have 1, 2, 3. To convert ABC to the integer, you will have runtime error. Your program will be failed with error. Okay, so the last thing about the string I want to talk about is format the string. Okay, what does it mean that's format string? Yeah, because sometimes the string I want to display this string. Okay, so I want to display this format with 2 decimal digits, and I want to have specific space to do. But this one is we not print to the console. We want to then save in the string. So this one actually is you need to use for your lab exercise too. Okay, so this one we call the string format. So the string.format method is the static method. So they will create a formatted string. The syntax actually is very similar to our last week we learned system.out.printf. Okay, so the argument you have is you will have your format. This format actually is a string. So then you will contain maybe multiple variable. Okay, so then from that, just like you using the printf, you can specify, you see, I have a double number, I do %f. I want to have 7 space and a 2 decimal place. Then I have an integer, okay, then I want the 6 space. Or I have a string, I want has 4 space for that. So that will see the string.format method. The argument is similar to your system.out.printf. So if you forgot, actually you can go back to your handout 1 at the end to refer to your printf method. Okay, so then you will see how they will do. So the same thing like my first lecture video this week. How many variable you have? 1, 2, 3. How many variable you have in the format? You need to have the same number for the item. So that's why you won't have any compiling error. So after you format your string, right? So sometimes if you want, you can concatenate one by one for the result. Okay. So that's why let me also quickly just talk about your yeah. So I just quickly show you that's your lab exercise 2. Your lab exercise 2, you will do exactly the same thing as your assignment 1. But instead, we're using only the console output in assignment 1. We change become GUI. You see you have lab exercise 2 here. We ask the user to enter the amount, how many years they want to borrow the money. So then you have a confirmation box, say the loan amount is 2,000. The loan duration is 4 years. Continue. Then, after you continue, your output will be exactly the same as your assignment 1. You see you have interest rate 5 to 8%. Then you will display different interest rate, different monthly payment, and the total payment. You see, they format align correctly as our assignment 1. But how you will do that in GUI? So the GUI, remember when you do the show message dialog, you only can have one string display everything, right? Right, so that's why you need to using each line. When you call the formula to calculate the monthly interest and total interest, so then you need to use them to using the string format. Actually, each line is one string. So then in order at the end, we will print so many, right? We just concatenate them all into one whole string. Okay, so then here, just give you the quickly introduction about lab exercise 2. I will talk about more in detail in the Zoom meeting. Okay, so actually I only have the last one in this video before your lab exercise 2. So I believe you heard me talk about static keyword few times these 2 weeks. So static keyword, actually the first time you see that is in the main function. So for example, you see in main function you have static keyword. So then here, this week when we talk about string class, the format method, we call they are string static format method. So then even more when we talk about the math.random, okay? So the math.random actually is a static method from math class, okay? So what is the static keyword? So when you see the static method, no matter math.random or string.format, you can see those static method, we call they are static method, they all being invoked using the class name dot the method name. So that's we call the static keyword. So static keyword for any method in Java, if there are instance method belong to a class, to invoke this instance method, the instance method belong to a class. But instance method, be careful here, we say instance method, that's another method. Each instance method belong to an object. If we want to invoke an instance method, you need to create object first. Okay, but all earlier we talked about main method, math.random method, string.format method. They are associated with a static keyword. So they are static method. For any static method, they don't belong to any object. They belong to a class. So in order to invoke a static method, no object need to be created first. So if we want to invoke this static method, you're just using the class name dot the static method. So that's why you see we just call math.random or string.format. We didn't create any object at all. So then here, that's a static keyword. So now you maybe wonder, what are objects? Yeah, don't worry, we will talk about that pretty soon. Couple more weeks, we will talk about after array. But now you just need to remember one thing about the static keyword. Whenever you have a static method, you want to invoke that using the class name dot the static method. No object need to create. That's what I want you to remember for now. So that's our first 3 lectures. So then you will work with your peer for the lab exercise.